Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Maverick Lee, and first things first, I have to apologize because it's been way too long. It has been a minute since I last made a video. So here it is. Here is the long awaited video. Now I have a treat for you today. Now the last time I bought a laptop was actually in 2015. I bought the Apple MacBook 15.4-inch screen, and that's lasted me all this time. What's that, 10 years as of posting this video? So I have to say it was one heck of an investment. It really was. It works today just like it did when I first got it. Honestly, it really is amazing. Now, I was never one of these Apple type of people. I was never on the Apple products. I mean, did I have the iPhone at the time when I first got it? I think I just had an iPhone, but I wasn't really fussed about having like the laptop to go with it. But like I say, it wasn't down to peer pressure. It wasn't down to being a sheeple. But honestly, like at the time I was at university, and I remember like everybody had an Apple MacBook. I was the only one. Now doing a design course, for example, everybody, all the designers, I mean, they looked the part, but at the time I just thought, do you know how those who are not on Apple will totally understand and relate to what I'm talking about, or even those who have been recently converted to Apple, they will understand because they know both sides of the coin. So when you're not on Apple, you kind of get this impression of people using Apples, and especially like designers. So it's like designer stereotype, mix that in with an Apple user together. It's like, oh yeah, ultimate sheep, But honestly, I was wrong. I mean, like, I've seen everybody, I don't know how to explain it, but you must have seen this. You must know what I'm talking about. I know you can't always judge a book by its cover, but stereotypes are a real thing that actually are real. And, it's funny how a lot of people actually live up to the stereotypes. People say, oh, you can't judge people and all this, but actually you'll find like more than often, a lot of people do actually live up to the stereotype. So like I say, in class, I would see people with the same kind of style caps and clothes, whatever the trend was in at the time. I think at the time it was like shaved sides on the hair for guys with like a quiff and like a beard and like maybe the top button done. It was like one of those checky types of shirts. So anyways, I was like, oh, it's just one of these designer things. But yeah, like I say, I remember I was speaking to the lecturer, and the lecturer was like trying to show something on my laptop, and he's like, what the heck's this? He was like, what are you doing with this laptop? And I was like, what's wrong with it? Because for me, it's normal, but he couldn't use it. He's like, what the heck? And I was like, what, are you a caveman? And he was like, oh man, you need a MacBook, you need an Apple laptop, He was like, I was like, why? Why is that? He was like, because, if you're going to take this seriously, if you want to be a designer, you need it. I'm like, why? Whatever an Apple can do, like my laptop can do. I was like, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, but just better screen, better quality, and and this and that. Anyways, eventually, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like when he would come over and try like show me something or do a demonstration on my laptop, he couldn't even do it. So I was like, you know what it is? I'm sick and tired of this. And I think one of the other things was like, for example, like fonts. If there's any designers out there, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I remember like the process of actually like downloading a font. It was like a nightmare, Sometimes it would go on and on. It was difficult. You had to like locate it, find the folders and all this, And I remember once like the lecturer was like, look, come here, have a look at this. He was like, this is how you install a font on an Apple MacBook. He's like, ding, ding, ding. Like, I think it was like 2 presses of the button. Ding, 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 ding. All of a sudden, done, bam, boom. You know what I mean? Sorted. And I was like, wow, that is actually pretty impressive. And he was like, look at the speed. And he started pointing out like all the details, like look at the speed. And then he put his laptop next to mine. He's like, all right, look, compare. Which one is better screen? I was like, well, obviously yours. And he was like, yeah, exactly. He's like, you need the quality and stuff. He's like, all right, which one's faster? He's like, ding. He's like, all right, you press yours. Internet connection. It was like, open. He's like, which one's faster? And I was like, actually, this guy's got a damn point. So that's when the seed was planted in my mind. And I thought, you know what it is? To hell with this. I am going to get myself an Apple MacBook. And honestly, I'm not just saying this. It is one of the best decisions of my life. It is without doubt the greatest investment that I've ever done. Like, unbelievable. Really, really, really good. I mean, like I say, again, I have to emphasize this. It works today, 10 years later, like it did on the first day when I first bought it back in 2015? Can somebody explain that to me? I mean, like, I know the older products, they were built to last longer and things, especially the likes of the old mobile phones, for example. But I didn't even know a modern gadget, a modern, what would you say, appliance, some modern tech could last so long. And I mean, even iPhones, you know, like, I know it's just the word on the street. It's not like a fact, but people actually speculate that Apple releases updates all the time on the iPhones and things, because when you update, eventually, like, your phone expires quicker. You need a newer phone, you need to upgrade even faster. So with that being said, like, I'm just amazed how it lasted so long. I really am. But I have to note, I didn't update it many times. Every time it said update, I was like, nah, go. I always try to, like, delay it as long as possible. And I think, honestly, I think that's what it's down to. I think that's why it lasted so long. And I've heard the word on the street is the newer MacBooks don't last as long. But anyways, because I'm a YouTuber, because I've been gone for so long, I've taken some very good videos and I can't even edit them. Like, it doesn't even hold 4K videos on my laptop, because that laptop from 2015 doesn't even have an M chip, doesn't have an M card. So I can't even edit the videos, the 4K videos, for example. So yeah, it was just like stuttering. And I thought, I can't be dealing with all this buffering and all that. So I was like, all right, well, that's it. I'm going to take things to the next level now. You know, I'm serious about this. So yeah, here it is. Hopefully I'll have this one for at least 10 more years. So yeah, it's just arrived in the post today. Now, you might be thinking, which one is this? To be honest, you'll probably already know because it's going to be in the title anyways, isn't it? But I went for the Apple MacBook 16-inch Pro. That's right, I said 16-inch, the Pro version. Why is that? Because like I just mentioned, I am a content creator and I am going to be serious about this, just as I was in the past, but I'm going to take things up a notch to the next level. So here we go. I've been waiting about a week and a half for this, actually. Now, the reason I was waiting so long is because I actually got it customized. I got a nano screen because I need that anti-glare effect, because I'm always working outside or by a window and there's always like a glare, like a reflection, you know, coming off from the sun and stuff. And to be honest, like, it's not very good because I can't see the screen very clearly. And honestly, I know online they say that it doesn't have much to do with improving your eyesight, but I would honestly say, by what I've seen, by what I looked at in the shops, it must be an improvement from like the screen without that nano feature. So yeah, I went for the nano feature and I got some other little perks too, like some apps installed and stuff. But yeah, anyways, here it is. It's finally came. So let's open this. The birth of my new baby. Welcome to the family. Okay, look at that. Now, I have to say, I'm kind of disappointed. So Apple, if you're listening, I'm a little bit disappointed in you. Do you know why? Because like I just mentioned, my laptop from 2015, I got the Pro. Now, bearing in mind, it was, what, 15.4-inch screen? Now, that screen is the perfect size for me. Perfect size. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just honestly perfect size. Now, I wanted the same or similar kind of screen with the latest MacBook that they actually do right now, as of posting this video in October 2025. And sadly, to my surprise, they don't even do a 15-inch screen, let alone 15.4. Do you know what I mean? They don't even do a 15-inch screen. So they actually do 14-inch and they actually do 16-inch. I mean, talking about like milking a product. I mean, what's that all about? Apple, come on, sort yourself out. If you're listening, sort yourself out. What's that all about? That's just shocking, you know? I mean, the 14-inch one, okay, fair enough. Give that as an option. Definitely give us an option. Like, some people like that. It's very light, very light. That's good, especially Pro. You need a Pro if you're going to do content, by the way, content creation. You need a Pro. Why is that? Because it's got double fans. You need the fans. The A, however, doesn't have the fans. That's why it's so super light. However, if you're going to do content creation, lots of editing and all this, it's no good for that. An A is basically meant for university work, you know, college work, something like that. Some kind of after work. But yeah, so you're gonna have to go for the Pro if you're going for content creation. To be honest, I did want the lighter model. What I realized is that this is not only bigger screen than the one I got in 2015, but it actually even weighs more. Now, I know there might be some people out there like this, you know, trigger friendly, trigger happy on the keyboard with their Twitter fingers. But before you say anything, before you skip to conclusions, wait, hear me out. What I'm saying is, I know the screen is slightly bigger. So I know there'll be some people that say, oh yeah, but you know, but your screen's bigger. Your screen's bigger, so of course it's not going to be lighter, is it? No. Listen to what I'm saying. This is 10 years later. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. You're telling me a screen that is slightly bigger than the one I had in 2015 can weigh more than the Pro that I had back in 2015. How does that make sense? You've had 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. What's going on? Apple, what's going on? Seriously? I love you, Apple, but like, what's going on? Come on. Sort it out, man. Sort it out. So yeah, with Apple being Apple, most likely, because I've just bought this, because I've just received it, and there's no information on the next model, some speculate that it could be like December this year, some speculate that it could be February, and then of course there's always those who speculate that it could be this time next year, you know? It could be any time, so it's pointless waiting around, right? The longer you wait, I mean, you're just wasting time, you know? Time's the one thing we don't have, what we can't get back again, right? Once it's gone, it's gone. So, you know what I mean? And don't forget, you actually can trade these in. So if you do get one and you decide like in a few years time or something, oh, you know, I like this next one, it's even more impressive for whatever reason. Maybe it's got a 15-inch screen, for example. Maybe it's a bit lighter as well. Then yeah, you can always trade it in, you know, get some discount off the next one. Here it is. Nice, slick, minimal box, customized. Now, it's the first time I've actually got a customized product. I don't normally get things customized, but yeah. So this one, I actually picked up in Shenzhen, China. Shenzhen, yes, that's right. Shenzhen is, as far as I'm aware, or it was, the #1 place for producing the Apple iPhones, and I believe Apple products in general. I don't know about the second part, but I know Apple iPhones, it was the #1 manufacturer city in the whole world for that. So I'm guessing it was probably this one too, the MacBook. Now, I ended up paying about $400 more for this. And when I say more compared to Hong Kong, because my friend actually had some student discount for Hong Kong, she was going to actually buy it for me, but sadly online there was some kind of issue. She couldn't buy it, it wasn't working, her card or something. So I tried, it wasn't working with my card. You've got to have like a Hong Kong bank set up, which is actually ludicrous. I've never heard of anything like that. I even asked like some of my friends like in China, like in the mainland, and they tried too and they couldn't even do it. They all said the same thing. They said, you know, I think you actually need to have a Hong Kong bank account. They say it's not even working. So I don't know what that's all about. And sadly, I couldn't go over there. And even if I did go over there, like I say, because it's customized, you have to actually book it in. So I'd be going there, making the order. That's if it even works like that. And then I'd be going back, and then I'd be waiting like a week or 2 weeks. And then I have to go back again, pick it up and collect it. Do you know what I mean? It's just pointless. I just want it now. I don't want messing around. So yeah, that's a bit crazy. But anyways, I ended up paying $400 about that more. And sadly, it didn't come with a package. So with that student discount, you actually get like a package of a few different apps. You get like all these different apps. And sadly, for $400 more, you don't actually get all those apps. You can just get like one app, which is pretty crazy. And you also got like AirPods free included. So you got like the app bundle, I think you call it like the student app bundle. You get the AirPods free. I think it's like the AirPods 4 along with it. And it's like $400 cheaper. So yeah, does that make sense? $400 more. You don't get free AirPods and you don't get the student bundle of apps. Let's get rid of this box. Now, let's cut the umbilical cord of this baby. I'm trying to open this with 2 hands to show you and not drop it at the same time, and that's why I can't open it, because there's another one. What a silly sausage. That's how long it's been. I forgot how to even open these. Okay, now. There it is. Do you realize you are sharing such a special moment with me? Now, as you can see by the wires, I'm pretty sure you can guess right which color I went for. Yes, the space black version. I just think it looks super, super slick, super cool, just different. That's what I like, different. Now I have to say, I did actually lift this up in the Apple store, in a few stores actually, because I was contemplating which one to go for. Like I say, it was either 14-inch or 16-inch, and I really didn't want the 16-inch, but the 14-inch, when I came to buy it, I was like, actually it's too small for content creation. I need a big screen, you know? So yeah, so I went for the 16-inch, and I have to say it actually feels lighter than it did in the shop. So I'm quite confused by that. But yeah, oh my god! Now I'm getting a bit excited. It feels like Christmas morning. Oos, look at that! Now that, look at that! Now that looks slick looking. Can you see that? With that space black color as well. Oh my god, like that's actually like something from an advert. You know, like one of the Apple adverts when you see like close up and you see like the glare and stuff and you see the reflection, the light, it's like, it looks like a spaceship or something. Like, that's unreal, that man. That's unreal. Look at that. I don't even think this camera's picking it up, you know. There, I think it's on now. There, can you see that? Look at that. See what I'm talking about? Look at that. That's special, that man. Honestly, that's special. So far, I'm impressed. Obviously, you don't see that when you go in the shop because this is actually the bottom. And if you want to look at the bottom of one of these, I'm sure the security is going to be accompanying you. That's actually, honestly, that's actually way, way better. Oh my god, even way better. Oh my god, look at that. Like the reflection off there, it's like clean. It looks like a black hole. Do you know the Apple logo? From here, when you look down, it actually looks like, do you know, like the black hole in space? Unreal, that man. Unreal. Honestly, it actually looks way, 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 way more impressive than I ever thought it did. And I mean, I've seen this in the shop as well. And obviously, the screen is already open, right? So you don't normally see it like this. Maybe that's something they could start doing actually in the future. Just like leave it closed like that, so people can actually see it, then open it. But then again, if you do that, eventually you're going to get so many people who can't even open these. It's going to do like wear and tear, isn't it? On the screen and all that. But I mean, Apple, they've got unlimited money anyways, don't they? But yeah, that's something. It actually looks thinner than I thought. And it actually feels lighter than I thought. Now, something I'm realizing already is it's picking up fingerprints. And I mean, the fingerprints aren't staying as such. Like they're kind of fading away after a few seconds, but I've noticed there's fingerprints every time I touch it. Now that's something I did think about before I bought it, but I looked online and people with these space black versions, they actually said it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But yeah. I didn't know where that noise was coming from there, you know. I was like, what is that? It just smells so good, doesn't it? The freshness of new. Brand spanking new. How do I take this off? Hello. Konnichiwa. Hola. Ni hao. Bonjour. Honestly, I can't even emphasize it enough. It just looks way more impressive than it did in the shop. 要以简体中文作为主要语言，请按下 Written 键。听不懂。我听不懂中文。So yeah, in the meantime, some of the specs of this is, as I mentioned, I went for the space black. I went for the 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M4 Pro chip. I customized it. I got the Nano-Texture display, which I need, as I mentioned, for the anti-glare and all this. And working outside, it's perfect if you're working outside, by the way. You can work in the park, if you're having a picnic. Like, you'll never be bothered by the sun again. It's always, it doesn't matter the angle, the side, whatever you're looking at, it always just looks perfect. It looks just too perfect, actually. And I think that's the reason why I'm so taken back by it, actually, because I forgot how impressive this actually is. When I seen it in the shop, when I actually seen the nano screen, it was actually on the 14-inch MacBook Pro. So like I say, because the screen's smaller, you can't really appreciate things as much, me personally anyways. So yeah, I got the Apple M4 Pro chip, which features a 14-core CPU, a 20-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. Now, don't quote me on all of this, because I could be wrong, and I'm not the geekiest of geekoids when it comes to technology. I try my best, and that's not putting down you geeks out there. I just, like I say, I wish I could be one, but just not for me, you know, just not for me. I'm old school. I prefer a pen and paper, to be honest. That's me, you know, but I have to say I'm very impressed with this Apple MacBook. That's why I went and reinvested in another one, because it didn't let me down and it lasted so long. It was very, very reliable. Now, I went for the 40GB unified memory. I got the 512 SSD storage. I got the 140 watts USB-C power adapter, which obviously comes with it, so I didn't really get it anyways. Yeah, I also got, with this, I got the backlit Magic Keyboard. What's this? Make this your new Mac. I'm setting this up as brand new, so honestly, guys, I know I've said it like 3 times already, but I'm honestly like, I'm amazed, man. I'm amazed like how good this screen is. I'm not even exaggerating. I am not exaggerating, trust me. Like, the only time I've seen a screen this perfect is actually, like, you know, when you go into, say, I don't know, like Costco's, and you see the big super expensive TV screens, you're like, wow, like that's actually more beautiful than real life. Like, that's what this is like. Like, that's crazy. How can they make it like more beautiful than real life? That's crazy. Talking about being hooked to something. See how I'm moving the laptop like this and the screen is always staying the same. Now, if that wasn't the Nano-Texture, it wouldn't be like that, would it? I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm like kind of contradicting myself. I was just kind of slagging off how I don't like the 16-inch screen. And honestly, like, so far, this screen looks even better than my 15.4-inch screen. Honestly, it actually, like, it feels the same size, but it just looks better. It looks taller, actually. It looks a bit taller. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if that's true or not. It just feels it. It's just the feeling I'm getting, you know. It's just a feeling. And you can choose, like, if you want software and stuff, like some of the apps, like the student app bundle I mentioned, you know, you can get it like automatically installed if you purchase that add-on as extra when you're buying it, a bit like the Nano-Texture and stuff. And you can go for even more memory, more gig than this. But to be honest, like, I think if I can remember correctly, this is like double the amount of memory that I had back in 2015. And like I say, that's lasted me like 10 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you can put the stuff on a hard drive and stuff and it does get full, which eventually you'll need to do. But yeah, it's still working fine. I mean, the RAM space and all that's still going pretty good, you know. I mean, it is a bit difficult now. It always says, like, sometimes, oh, you know, you have to delete some things, and I've deleted as much as I can on the 2015 one. But yeah, it's still surviving. Because obviously you just keep putting things on your hard drive until you've got some more space. But like I say, it's on the way out. And I've got to upgrade. Like I say, it's got no M card. So, you know, you need an M card if you're going to, like, edit 4K and all this. and I went for the M4 Pro chip. That's all from me. I didn't want to make this too long, and I don't know what you think of this, but yeah, just check this out. Just looks very impressive. Just very, very impressive already. It's my new baby. I know you're not supposed to have like favorites and stuff like in the family from your offspring and that, but yeah, I think this one's my favorite already. I hope I didn't say that too loud. I hope my MacBook from 2015 didn't hear me, but yeah, anyways, I'll just leave it there. So it's like one of the first, not the first time, but it's one of the first times that I've actually did like a product review such as like a gadget. I mean, I did the Huawei, which was banned in the West, by the way, if you want to check that one out, the Mate 60 Pro I did. But yeah, it's not too often that I actually do unboxing, unopening and reviews for products such as laptops and things. But I would really appreciate it if you drop a like on the video and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. Honestly, I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on this. And have you got one? Are you considering buying one, or are you waiting for the next one, which could come anytime? It could be dropped anytime. So yeah, don't forget, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, because your subscription really, really, truthfully, hand on heart, motivates me to produce more content just like this for you all. Take care.